Hello. Happy Tuesday. We're going to wait a few minutes, let some people join in. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We're going to wait a few minutes, let some more people jump in. In the meantime, what's everybody working on? What's your project? Hey, what's going on? Mr. Roman, how you doing? What's everybody working on? What's the projects you guys working on tonight? I'm going to try to keep this show a little bit short. Oh, turning pens, nice. I'm going to have to find some turning blanks to send you. I got some wood to cut up. I'll get some more stuff out to you, let you test them out. I'll be putting turning blanks on the website here shortly, on the online store shortly, so keep an eye on that. Christmas yards, nice. Christmas yard display. Yeah, it was a warm weekend here in Northern Illinois. It was 50 degrees Saturday and Sunday, and so I got all my Christmas lights up. It was a great time to do that. Some barnwood for future project. Hey, there you go. Barnwood, that's what we're talking about today. I got some samples. I got some stuff to talk about. Very cool. So this is a pretty good show for that. I actually just got some more barnwood too, some reclaimed barnwood. So I'm pretty happy about that. About 8 boards that are 6 to 8 feet long or so. So pretty excited for that. What's going on, Carport Carpentry? How you doing? All right, a couple more minutes. So if you guys, I closed it off, but here's the prize for tonight. It's one of these, chosen by you guys. You guys went and voted in my story which one you'd rather have, the DeWalt 16 or the Milwaukee 16. They're both really nice. And the reason I purchased these was I had a cheap one, and it broke on me, so I needed a new one. So I figured, hey, I'll buy another one, and that'll be this week's giveaway prize. So that's kind of how that started. So one of these I'm going to keep. Just a few differences of this one. The Milwaukee one, 30% more compact. As you can see by the tape, the DeWalt's kind of easy to read from farther away, but it is also larger. Some people might not like that. The profile of it is bigger. That's not a great way to show that, but I did also notice that the DeWalt one comes with like a belt loop clip, and the Milwaukee one just has the standard kind of metal clip. Hey Eddie, how you doing? So one of these, somebody's gonna get one of these tonight. So thanks for voting in the story. That was actually kind of cool. There's a lot of people who voted for that. It was kind of neat. So let's get started, shall we? So this episode we're gonna make it kind of quick. Just kind of some quick tips. Nothing too wild. We're talking reclaimed wood, barn wood, pallet wood. Just some really quick tips for people if you've never used reclaimed barn wood. I think we actually get kind of spoiled, and there's some Northern Illinois or Illinois Midwest folks here. I think we get kind of spoiled with barn wood. We have a pretty decent supply in the Midwest of barn wood, reclaimed wood. So I can think of a dozen places that I could go and get reclaimed wood, real reclaimed barn wood, not the stuff you find in big box stores that are made to look like reclaimed barn wood, and it's so expensive. I see it all the time. Hey John, how you doing? Just a couple of things. Know your source when you're getting reclaimed barn wood, just kind of where you're getting it from, where it was at. Other few tips that I'd like to tell people is if you see barn wood and it has paint on it, assume it is lead-based paint because that was what was used back in the day. It's kind of you're better safe than sorry kind of a rule. Hey Bill, nope, not bought a Fuji yet. I'm saving up my coins. Uh, so I would just say, as a good rule of thumb, if you see paint on reclaimed barnwood, assume it's lead-based paint. If you can cut off that piece and get rid of it, do that. I just wouldn't go messing with it. Some people say you can seal it in with your clear coat, seal that paint in. That might be fine for some people, but I don't go that route. I'd rather just avoid it if I could. Another thing you want to look for in reclaimed barnwood is bugs, insects, critters. If you look on your wood and you see little holes, and it's kind of like when you look at it and you see it, you'll know it. They don't look like nail holes. They're kind of specific, but you'll see little dotted holes. Those are bugs. You don't know if they're in there, if they're alive or they're not. There is products that you can get to treat your wood to get rid of the bugs, but you have to be careful about the inhalation from the sawdust. Don't breathe that stuff in. So wear masks when you're doing that. So you can treat your own reclaimed lumber. There's products out there. I'll try to post one maybe tomorrow of a product that you can use, or put it in a kiln if you have access to a kiln. Dry it out. Bugs do not like dry wood. They'll get the hell out of there. They'll die. So let's see. Anything else? Try to pull all the metal out if the supplier that you got it from did not already do that. Just kind of look around and look for, like nails and such. This is one I put in. It's pretty fresh. But look for metal, because you do not want to hit that with your saw blade. That's not a good thing. I'm trying to see if I had when I was working on a reclaimed barnwood dining table a few months ago, a second look saved my saw blade. I looked at the board, I looked where I was going to cut, I didn't see anything. I did a double check, I flipped it over, and sure enough, there was a spike, kind of like, it was hard to see, it was just kind of, sometimes the wood can get kind of dark and it's kind of hard to see it, but a second look saved it. So just double check. Those old spikes are pretty thick, and saw blades don't like them. Other than that, cleaning. These things are dirty. You have no idea, maybe you do, what these things were doing when they were barnwood. So clean them. Some people don't wash them with water, hot soap and water. They just kind of scrub them with a bristly brush and air. I wash the boards, soap and water, warm soapy water, just a normal dish soap, nothing too wild. You do have to let it dry out after you do that, so give it a day or two after you wash it. But I picked up, this thing has been awesome. I've done a lot of boards with this little guy. It's just a Liebman small space brush, pretty bristly. Get some soap, water, and just kind of just get in there and scrub it out. I've done it in a big utility sink. I've done it out in the driveway, pulled all the boards on sawhorses, hosed them off, got some soap, cleaned them off. So clean them, and you'll be surprised too after you clean them. You get kind of grimy ugliness, and then once you finish it out, it'll look nice and pretty and sheen. When you put a finish on it, it'll get a nice sheen, but it'll look a lot better once you clean it out. So definitely do that. The other thing too, finishes. I don't know what you guys like to use for finishes for reclaim. Does anyone have a favorite finish for their anyone have a favorite finish they use for reclaimed barnwood? I have a couple favorites I'll share. I'd like to see what everyone else uses. I know it's not probably a universal answer, but what are some of people's favorites? Are you a spar urethane, polyacrylic? What do you guys like to use? Anybody got a favorite? I'll tell you my favorite. This one's probably my favorite. Helmsman Minwax product. I like this. It's pretty durable. It's really durable. It's indoor outdoor. This is one of my favorites. I'll get a little closer. I would say it's probably my favorite, one I use the most. Another one that I have tried just recently. There you go. I'm still nursing this little baby can of Armor Seal because I like it so much. So I'm still trying this on different products here and there, just trying to get a feel for it because this is literally my first experience with a General Finishes product. So I'm just kind of testing it out, just seeing how I like it. It does really well. It's got a nice. This is a semi-gloss, and it's got a nice sheen to it. It's dusty as hell because it's dusty everywhere in this shop. So don't let that fool you. But it's got a nice sheen to it. It has a nice feel to it. It doesn't feel like plasticky, like another product that I do sometimes use, polyacrylic, some water-based polyacrylic. This is a satin that I put on this. I like the satin look sometimes 'cause I feel like you can get too shiny. So I like the look of this. I like the sheen. It's very pretty. It lets those saw marks come through. So I like that a lot. It does tend to have a plasticky, surprise, kind of feel to it. But I do like it. The other thing, I guess before you apply a finish, so I skipped a step, sanding. I don't go below 100 grit. And even that, I don't like to go to 100 grit. It just kind of depends on my preference, customer preference. What do they want? You go any lower than 100 grit, and I think that you can really do some damage on that beautiful saw marks that you get there. So I don't like to go below 100 grit when I sand. And I usually just take it up to like 300, 320, something like that. It just kind of depends on the application. That's that. I don't stain reclaimed barnwood because why does anyone do that? I guess you could. It's possible to paint it, but that's silly. If anybody would like cover that up, I would be, yeah. So the other thing too, some people might not know this. If you run this through, it seems obvious, but maybe not. If you run that through a planer or sand too deep, you will lose all of that character in there. So just be careful when you are working with this stuff, and don't go too deep because you will lose all those beautiful saw marks that are in there. And it's still smooth. You can still, this is very smooth. I wouldn't do this with a raw board. My hand would be full of slivers. So it's very smooth. And when you start with maybe like 120 and bring it up, from there, you won't lose all that character. Bill, you just did that island with the epoxy. I would recommend people taking a look at that. I'm going to look at that process too. The boards that I have been working with didn't have like the voids as much as the ones that you had. So I'm going to try that process and kind of test it out too. I'm curious. I've never done it that way, the way that you did with that island top. You had a very thorough explanation. I think it was a combination of your posts and your stories of how you did that. So thanks for that. I am also a big proponent of being open to a new technique. Maybe this way isn't the best way. Maybe I can get better results. So I'm always open to trying something new. I tried a wet sand recently, General Spirits. It wasn't reclaimed wood though. A wet sand recently. Lumberjacksons, how did you like that? Did you like it? Hey Gabriel, how are you? Nice. Well, that's cool. So, put a post about that. I'm curious. I want to try different things. There's could be something better out there that I'm not doing. So, that's really cool. Yeah, definitely put a post on there about that. So that's really it. I was gonna make it short today. tonight this week, just to kind of keep things moving along. Does anybody have any questions about reclaimed wood? Anything? Oh, nice. 2,000 grit. That's high. That's pretty up there. Yeah, post it. I mean, if you want to, I guess you don't have to, but I'd be curious to see your process. I'd like to learn how to do that, a different way of doing it. I like my way that I've always used, but maybe there's a better way. Open to new techniques. That was like the half of it. Where do you source it? Ron, there's places all over the place. There's places all over by you that's got it. Maybe I'm a little spoiled because I'm closer to Wisconsin and there's barns all over the place up there. It depends. There are suppliers. Some suppliers, especially when you get in the suburbs of Chicago, I'm speaking to you, Ron, because I know you live around Chicago. They're really pricey in the city when you get reclaimed wood. Come out farther away from the city. It gets a lot cheaper. You can find reclaimed barnwood. Look on Craigslist. I've seen a couple guys in southern Wisconsin that have reclaimed barnwood. I wouldn't necessarily, they're a supplier, but a lot of times it's just a yard with lumber out there. So it's not going to be, like a hardwood store that maybe you're used to. It's scary out there. Come out to you. Eddie, you've been out here. You know the Rockford area. It's not scary. It's not scary at all. There is actually a place in Rockford, not necessarily barnwood, but it's called Salvage 2, Too. So anybody that's kind of, ever you make your way out here, there is a salvaged store, and what they do is they have these teams that go in and pull. You jerk. They have teams that go into rundown houses, and they will pull all of the oak flooring out of the house. They will pull all of the very nice fixtures, all that stuff out, and salvage that stuff, and they sell it, and that goes to what's called Youth Build, which is kind of like a non-profit organization in Rockford. I go there all the time. I like the people that run it. They do a really good job. It is super cheap. It is not an expensive thing. But you can get, reclaimed studs, 2x4, all kinds of stuff. They have all kinds of lumber. Sinks, they have entire sinks for $1. $1, guys. Sinks. I have one over here. It was $1. I bought one just because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but maybe make like an outdoor garden little center thing. But it's a cool store. If you guys ever get out in the Rockford area, look in your local city. You may have something like this. And it's nice to use reclaimed stuff because, that's a little bit more sustainable than just keep chopping down trees all the time. Try to reuse that stuff, recycle. Anybody else got any questions? Things explode out towards that Rockford area. Yeah, they do. Once in a while. We just had a plane run off the runway, which is like 2 miles away from my house. So that was cool. It was a little bit of excitement. It was really windy here last night. I think that the crosswind tossed the plane off the runway is what I believe happened. Kind of scary. So you guys are here for a giveaway, right? That's what you guys are all here for? One of these. Oh, that was Dixon. That was Dixon area. Close to Rockford, very close. Mechanical Fair. So the winner, did you guys look at my story that I just posted a few minutes ago? I cut off all the voting just so I could have a clean line and we could show. The DeWalt actually won. I believe it was 52-48, if that math holds up. So I'm here to see you talk. Aw. So this is the winner. And thank God because I broke my cheapy tape measure, so I needed a new one, so I'm keeping the Milwaukee. This one's mine. Sorry. So anybody that didn't want the DeWalt, you can drop off now if you don't want to win it. But we're going to give that away in a second. We're going to talk a little bit about some things that are upcoming. Next week, I'm going to talk about markets, my market experience. I've done a few. It hasn't been like a wild and crazy runaway success, but we're doing pretty okay. And I have some tips that I think could help some people out if you've never done a market. So that's what we're going to talk about. Markets, kind of booth layouts, setups, what you should bring, things to think about, kind of putting your display up for the audience. So just kind of markets in general. I know a lot of people are doing craft fairs and stuff. I would suggest find one in your local area. So find one in your local area that's inexpensive. They are out there. Like $40 I've seen. Get in there, get a booth, and just put everything out and just kind of get a lay of your booth. Kind of just see what works, what sells. I'll cover all that stuff next week. I got a lot of really good information to give you guys. There's some websites you can get to that'll show you where markets are near you. And I just have some information that I'd like to share with you about markets and selling at markets. So that's next week. 2 weeks from now, this is kind of exciting. I'll give you guys a little hint of this. There is a new staff member coming on the Slumberyard Handcrafted business. There's someone, like I have room for another person around here. Where would they work? So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited about this. This person is very talented. This person is very qualified for the job. And it's going to help me kind of pull back a little bit of the things that I have started, and I can focus on building, honing my craft, and pull a little bit of that other stuff away and let this person kind of handle it. So the Slumberyard Handcrafted family is getting a little bit bigger, so officially. So look out for that in a couple weeks. So, all right, let's give this away. You guys want to give it away the same way we've always been doing this? Do you guys like that way? Is that a very fair way? You guys like it? I split something, measure it, we look at it, everyone's happy. You guys like this? You guys want me to come up with something else, or are we just going to keep going with this? I want your feedback. You tell me your feedback. This is what we're giving away. 16-foot tape measure from DeWalt. It's got a 10-foot standout. 10 feet. Stand out. Look at that. The Milwaukee, 9 feet, stand out, but it is also a thinner tape. But I'm keeping this one because I need one. I'm not going to do any chopping today. Forget about it. My arm's sore. I got so many bruises up here. Oh my God. I'm pause for a second. I'm going to go find something to break. Goodness. This is so wasteful. I'm gonna need to find a way to use this stuff besides, I don't know, like burn pit fodder, kindling. This is so wasteful. I need to find something else to do. So there you go. I don't wanna. I have pretty eyes. I don't wanna ruin them. About to make some shims right now. Pop. Ooh, that would suck. Pop it right in my face. All right, here we go. You guys know the rules, right? Let me go over the rules. You guys know the rules? You get one guess. It is your first guess. If you guess more, it's your first. It's the closest person, plus or minus. So I will break this. Yeah, there's rules. There's always rules. There's rules for everything. I will break this. So a little bit of chaos, so there's no tomfoolery. I will break this. I will measure it. I will look to see who is the closest person. Yeah, pop, right in my mouth. I will see who the closest person is, and I will measure it. I will show you, and we'll announce the winner. There's a couple people. Wait a minute. Let's talk about this for a second. There's a couple people who are not eligible to win because they are winning all the gosh darn prizes. It's not fair for everybody else. So I did institute a rule where you cannot be back-to-back week winners. So that is because AJ at Chi-Town Woodworks won back-to-back weeks, and I didn't have a rule in place at that time. So the new rule of the land is no back-to-back winners. Try to get everybody to get something. I want everybody to have a prize. Wish I could buy you all a tape measure. I can't. Are you ready? It's gonna hurt. There it is. You get one guess. One guess. How tall is that? From the tip. Tipsy tip. How tall is that? Closest person. If there is a tie, it's the first person per my feed. That's the only way I can do that. So if it's a tie, it's first person from my feed. You get one guess. If you guess multiple times, you're excluded from this. So while you're waiting, like I said, tune in next week. We are going to be talking about markets. I think I have a really good idea for a prize for next week. I'm going to ramp it up a notch. These prizes have been really great. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I got some prizes here, but I think I got something in mind that I think would ratchet it up a notch. Be a really cool prize for somebody. So you are now guessing, and this is what you will win. I will pack it in one of my Slumberyard handcrafted poly mailers and mail it off to you. A little hands. Seriously? Sam, man. Oh, you get it. Okay, so that's how you call it out. You say, if I say one, you're a prize pack. Yeah, Eddie, you got a tape measure in your prize pack, the little guy. Remember that? Little hands. All right, so everyone got their guesses in. I'm just going to look right now. I'm going to measure. What am I going to measure with? Damn, we all said 19. Who all the first one? All right, I want to measure this. Hold on. Oh, man. You guys are getting good. You guys are getting better at this. Congratulations. Cheating? Oh, my God. I will show you it afterwards. I just want to be able to look and pick out who it was. Ooh. God, you guys are so good at this. But no one got it. How you doing? Hi, guys. I'm really up close on the camera here. So here's the thing. No one got it right, but two people were. One person, God, I don't know how to judge this one. This one's kind of hard. This one's tricky. So the measurement, let's talk about this for a second. This is why Price is Right has different rules than what I do. So the measurement is 19 1/4. I'll show you. There is a guess for 19, and there's a guess for 19 1/2. How would you guys like to handle this? So how would you guys like to handle this? Oh, use the other piece. Use the other piece and have the two guess. Oh, that's a really good idea. Do you guys think that's a fair idea? So the two people that were the first 19 and the 19 1/2, do you guys think that's fair? What do you guys think about that? The first 19 person and the person that guessed 19 1/2, I will measure the other piece that's on the floor, hold it up, I'll show them, and those two can guess. Do you guys like that? So I'm gonna go with that. Okay. So, the girly woodworker, you were the first one to say 19, I believe. Yes, the girly woodworker, you will be facing off against, who had the 19 and a half? Handyman DIY. Handyman DIY. So it is the girly woodworker versus Handyman DIY. So the girly woodworker and the Handyman DIY. You are going to guess the longest length. Guess the length of the other cutoff. So that's how we're doing it. So here you go. This is only between the girly woodworker and Handyman DIY. How long is this? Got to be closest. Closest person. This is the first time, I mean, not that I've been doing it this long, but this is the first time this has come up. This is kind of fun, right? Kind of fun? Cool. So guys, this is between girly woodworker and, what was it, Handyman DIY. Alright, so I see two answers. The girly woodworker, 32 inches. Handyman DIY, 35.5. $30 inches. Girly, I believe you are the winner. Yep, you are the winner. Congratulations, the girly woodworker. You won yourself a brand new DeWalt 16-foot tape measure that comes with 1/8 inch marks, a 10-foot standout, and the DeWalt limited lifetime warranty, guaranteed tough. Congratulations. Also comes with a little belt clippy deal. So there you go. So DM me your address and I will get this in the mail to you. You won. Congratulations. Well, that was fun. We've never had that come up in a live here. Come on. Let's see. Congrats. Yes, congrats. All right. So, like I said, next week, I do have a really cool prize for next week. I think it's going to be something that everyone will kind of like. Get jacked up for it. So, we're going to talk about markets, market strategies, know your audience, selling to your audience, all that good stuff. Anybody have anything else before I leave? Anybody got anything else before I leave? I got lumber to unload from the freezing 21 degree outside and bring into the 58-ish degree inside. No, I'm not giving away a router. Oh my gosh. Karate chop. It's a chop. Selling bowl blanks. So that was, there's going to be a bunch of stuff added to the online store here pretty soon. So check that out. I'm going to do pen blanks. I got some bowl blanks. For those of you who have a large bed lathe, I'm going to have some baseball bat blanks. So if you have a lathe, check it out. All right, guys. Here's a karate chop. You guys ready? Here you go. Hi. Yeah. See you next week.